Hi, this is DH Dunn, and I'm here to ask myself a very basic question. What haven't I done in the long dark that I really want to do? The list is actually pretty extensive. So I want to talk into it. This is going to be a very... Get into it, excuse me. This is going to be a very free-form, not well-edited video. I want to start a run-up first, and then we're just goof around on Interloper. If we die, we die. I'm not even taking any feats or anything. We're going to call this the TLD bucket list. So I've got about 2,500 hours, something about that in the game. And I know those of you who watch me all the time might be like, really? Hey, I'm as surprised as you. My brain keeps some information. Oh, of course it's BlackRock. Why would it be anything else? You're so freaking funny. I don't care. But yeah, my brain doesn't necessarily store information always the way I would like it to. There are pluses and minuses to everything. The same thing that I think helps me write and helps me be creative and silly and funny doesn't always store, like, you know, facts and stuff. But anyway, in absolutely no real order or in any sense of organization at all. I should say, why am I making this video? So I messed up. I did a double-length episode, basically, of Can I Lope 10 Days in a Brave New World, because I thought I had my sequence messed up, and I thought I needed to finish that by the end of the week, and I ended up with too long a series, or too short a series. I ended up with a day where I didn't have a video, is basically it. So I have nothing to go up for Friday. So this is one of the ones that I've been thinking about doing for a while. So hey, let's do it. Let's talk about it. What haven't I done? Well, let's start with right here. I don't care if Will dies. Sorry, Will. I'd love to live 500 days on Interloper, and I'd love to live 100 days on any other difficulty. Weirdly, Interloper is the one that I have the longest PB on. Even though I pretty much am a Voyager player that turned into an Interloper player. I had never spent much time on Pilgrim. I don't like Stalker, but I need to spend more time with it, and kind of the same thing with Misery. Misery feels like a puzzle. I don't know how I feel about Misery. I think if Misery gave you... This is so freeform, guys. If Misery gave you the ability to change where you spawned, I think I'd be more into it. But because you always spawn in the same point in Pleasant Valley, it feels like, you know how like I'm a big Civilization player, and for a lot of Civilization players, there's like a build order. You build this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. Misery feels that way to me. Maybe I'm wrong. With Stalker, I think I probably would like Stalker more now. Initially, I didn't like it because I found that the wolves, the higher population of wolves, to be a distraction.
Damn.
And I did... William. All right, William. We'll go. So I'd love to live 500 days on Interloper. Right now, 211 is my PB. I think I'm probably technically capable of living 500 days. The question is, can I stay focused long enough to pull that off? I get distracted. I tend to want to do something silly. And I can't ignore the possibility that, you know, that might come up. But that's one of the things. Another one is I really would like to finish Buried Echoes and whatever the new part is called. I only see the frickin' screen every day, right? I should know it. But I have started Buried Echoes twice, both times on Voyager. And I think once I found out that the end of the complete end of the game is in Sundered Pass, I kind of noped out. But recently I've spent a little bit more time in Sundered Pass, and I think I can get to the weather station now. So maybe I would take another shot at it. I mean, I'd like to. I very much would like to. I don't know BlackRock that well, so I may be in the wrong place here. Yeah, this seems like this is going to go nowhere. Why BlackRock of all maps to put me in? Is this just a complete dead end? So let's add Learn Blackrock even more to that list. I've spent time in Blackrock, but I still have a lot to learn. There's several maps. This isn't even on my list, but there's several maps. Blackrock, HRV, portions of Ash Canyon that I'm really weak on. Bleak Inlet, I'm better than you'd think at Bleak Inlet, because Bleak Inlet, to be honest, is not that complicated. I think those are the big three that I don't know well. Sundered Pass, I mean, all the Far Territory stuff, there's, you know, I know Forsaken Airfield decently. Zone of Contamination, decently. Sundered Pass I have mostly avoided. There's a reason why I avoid Sundered Pass, and it's coming up on this list. I can see it down there because the list is down there. So yeah, I would say mastering some of the maps that I have not yet gotten comfortable with would be another good goal. I'm just gonna die here. I know it. You know what? I don't know. I kind of want to walk around somewhere else. So that brings up the next thing. So let's go back to the main menu for a second here. So by the way, it's called Broken Silence. Okay, there you go. Broken Silence. Or I guess Broken Silence is more the it is Buried Echoes and the other one. Anyway, the stuff with the radio. The stuff with the radio. I need to do the stuff with the radio. And this shows what just a pure survival player I am. I tend to ignore almost everything in the game that doesn't have to do with the survival sandbox mode, and I really need to explore that stuff more because there's a lot of creativity and energy put in there. Plus, it teaches you where all the bunkers are, which I don't fully know. I'm gonna try. You know what? What the hell? We'll try Stalker. Just don't put me in Great Bear, or put me in Great Bear. Don't put me in Blackrock, please. Yeah. So finish that. I also need to finish story mode. I have played episode 1, I think 3 times. I have played all the way to episode 4 once on Twitch. And I got to the steam pipe puzzle in episode 4. Spoilers, there's a steam pipe puzzle in episode 4. And I got so frustrated with it that I just quit out. And everybody in the chat was like, hey, there are YouTube videos on how to do this. And I felt like if I have to go watch a YouTube video to figure out how to do it, then I don't want to do it. It's just my opinion. I have a lot of challenges with story mode. I love the opening to story mode. I love the opening sequence with Will and Astrid. Basically, right up until about here. Then I start to fall off. And this is a personal taste thing, because I know a lot of people really like story mode. I get very invested in Will and Astrid's relationship, and then you never get anything after that beginning. Spoilers, again, sorry. Maybe I'll edit that out, because that's a pretty big spoiler. But I get invested in Will and Astrid's relationship, and they split up, which makes sense from a story narrative perspective. The problem I have with story mode, and this is 100% personal taste. If you love story mode, I'm thrilled for you. Is how opaque and, to me, frustratingly vague most of the character dialogue is. The people, starting with the woman who lives in this house, do not talk like real people to me. They talk like it's like a dream. And that's where my headcanon kind of starts, that this is all in their head. There's a dreamlike quality that isn't present in the opening, but shows up pretty much after the opening. And I never fully get on board. And with the exception of Grey Mother, maybe Methuselah, and
cold is making my head feel thick.
Somewhat Jeremiah, and somewhat that priest in episode 3. Most of the characters that you run into are just terrible. They're just terrible people. They're not terrible characters. They're terrible people. And I don't like them. and I don't want to spend time with them. And I just want Will to find Astrid, and I just want Astrid to find Will, and I want to know what's in the case. And so story mode for me doesn't engage me. It's super okay if you like it. I am not attacking or criticizing story mode or you. It bounced off me. Not every story works for every person. Having said that, I do want to finish it. I do want to finish episode 4 before episode 5 comes out next year. I do want to see where this is all going. So I do need to run through it again, and I have some ideas of how I might do that with YouTube that I think you guys might like. Who knows? Maybe it'll grab me this time. Another thing that I have never done in the game, and partially it's because I'm generally not on a mode where it would be relevant, is make ammunition. I know that you can make ammo in Blackrock and Bleak Inlet. I think you can do it in both places. And there's little like rooms with like key codes or something that you can go in. And I've just never done it because I'm always on Interloper where it's not relevant. But it's an experience in the game that I haven't done. So I'd really like to have a Stalker run or a Voyager run where my goal is just to get to, get to Bleak, get to Blackrock, and figure out how to get into those places. I've been in the cannery. And in fact, I think I may have been in that room once because I think Cheat Death sent me there in Bleak. Because there was a wolf in the room, so I think that's it. But yeah, I would like to do that because it's an experience in the game that I haven't done. And I think it would be fun and interesting to check it out. And I love the bow. So, I mean, I don't dislike the guns and the rifle and the revolver. I do have fun with them. When I played on Voyager, I loved getting them and being silly with them because, it's me. But I haven't done much on Stalker, and I think Stalker is probably the difficulty I would want to do it at. There are no guns here, so I can't illustrate. I could have said, up to about a week ago, I could have added to this list going to the weather station. But I have done that now. So I did that the other day on Pilgrim? I think I did it on Pilgrim. Which a lot of times I'll explore a map on Pilgrim. Let's see. On the subject of Sundered Pass and Bleak Inlet and Blackrock and why I avoid these maps, I avoid them because of the Timberwolves. So... And the rules have changed with Timberwolves. They can kind of show up anywhere, and they don't necessarily show up specifically in those maps anymore. So the reason I avoid the Timberwolves is not because I find them... What's the word I want here? The word I usually use with Timberwolves is annoying. I kind of find them annoying because they don't represent... I like the wolves. I like the challenge that wolves present. I like that there's different things, different ways to deal with them. The Timberwolves feel very binary to me. They feel like you either are going to break their morale or you are going to run away from them. And to me, the run away from them seems less time consuming and more likely to work. So that's usually what I do, is I just, I'll just sprint and let them growl behind me, and I'll just eventually get away from them. And that's generally what I do. I need to master the Timberwolf morale breaking for cases where that's not an option for me. And that, I think, would open up Blackrock and Sundered Pass and Bleak Inlet more for me. And in general, whenever they show up anywhere. I don't know that I've ever broken a Timberwolf pack morale. Maybe once or twice. Maybe. Probably on Voyager with a gun. But I don't think I've ever, done it the way I've seen a lot of high-level players do it. And while I don't aspire to be a high-level player, if I want to get to 500 days and things like that, I think I do need to have that in my bag of tricks for when I need it. And I don't. With all Predators, this is always my first strategy, is just avoidance. Avoidance is the lowest risk strategy, I feel. I I engage when I need to. The problem I have with with wolves, particularly once I have the bow, is that I sometimes engage and then hello, and then I miss, and they get me. So yeah, I do feel like I need to master the Timberwolves. There is something on my list here that I feel like I'm never going to do. And that's Faithful Cartographer. I feel like I'm never going to do Faithful Cartographer. I'll never 100% the Long Dark because I don't think I'm patient enough. I don't think I would get enough enjoyment out of that time investment to go through and, map every single part of all the early zones. I believe up to Ash Canyon is in Faithful Cartographer. I think Black Rock and beyond is not. I can't see myself doing that. Stone Age Sniper is another one where, like, I guess maybe it will happen by accident at some point, but I'm not gonna spend, a half an hour throwing rocks at bunnies to try to get it. Super okay if you did it. No judgment. I'm always worried that if I say I'm not doing this, it's me saying someone else doing that is bad. No, it's just not how I want to spend my time. And I think that is I have something on here that says high level rec. I don't know what that is. What was that? High level recording? I think maybe it was high level records. No, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Will I edit that out? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I will. There's a lot still to do for me in the Long Dark. There's definitely, like I said, there's several maps that I don't have a strong handle on. There is a lot of, the cougar. I've never engaged the cougar. I've never seen the cougar in my gameplay. I have seen it in other people's gameplay. I had the cougar live in my Lope run. It was blocking the exit between Coastal Highway and Ravine, and I just went around her. Again, avoidance. And I didn't have a bow, so it's not like there was a lot of things I could do to deal with her. But I just went around her. Eventually, I do want to engage with the cougar and play around with that. There's a lot of things still left to do. Darkwalker. I have not completed Darkwalker. And that is the only challenge I haven't done. I do want to do that one. That one, again, also feels more like a puzzle than kind of like Misery, but I do want to try that out. I'm thrilled with how much, when I have 2,500 hours into this game and I feel like there's a ton of things I haven't done, I could see putting 5 times those hours into the game and not be bored. I have a great time with just what I've accomplished, over the past couple of years in the Long Dark. I have so much fun with this game. What things have you not done? What's on your bucket list that you haven't checked off? Or what did I not think of that I should be adding to my bucket list? For a long time, it was things like kill a deer. There was a point, early on when I had never killed a deer with the bow. I had killed deers with rifles and guns, but not with the bow. I remember my first moose kill, my first summit, my first 100 days. Like, all of those are great milestones. So I'm looking forward to ticking some of these off and having that moment. It's great to get the achievement in the little, thing on your list, but even more so to get kind of the memory. I remember where all of my first bear. Like, I remember all of that stuff. So that's actually the thing I love about the Long Dark the most, is its ability to generate story, in your head. So that's it for this freeform video. Let me know what you think. And I guess I'm going to be back tomorrow with more adventures in the Long Dark. Specifically, we should be doing Burglar tomorrow. I think this is probably the last video I will record on my current flaking out computer. I have a new computer coming today, and hopefully the things will stabilize here, and things will be running good going forward. But you guys are amazing. I so appreciate all the growth that we've seen in the channel, and all the support that you give me, and the great comments and stuff is fantastic. Thanks for riding along with a very free-form rambling video. That's gonna do it for me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, take care of each other, and I'll see you next time.